Hello, welcome to Kai Chi Alchemy. You can call me Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Happy Capricorn new moon. I've definitely been wanting to put up some more movement content for a long time now. Seems like there's always some kind of logistical reason not to, for things to just not work out perfectly for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. Kind of reminds me of this Capricorn new moon for a lot of people. Really need to sit back and chill and process and feel things, but also we have a lot of work to do and there's a lot of things to take care of and we need to get at that. So how do you balance that, right? I think that one of the best ways to practice kind of more of that ventral vagal nervous system space where you're able to move in and out of a feeling space and a logical, practical, moving things forward space in a nice, smooth, easy, co-creative, cooperative kind of way. And I think that the best way to get your movement into your life is to make it easy and simple to start with and to develop those routines and those habits that take it off of your mental bandwidth, and it's still something that you're physically engaging in. But I feel like that's half the battle for most of the people I talk to, is just the indecision and the overthinking and the excuses and whatever. So if you can find a routine that works for you that you can do consistently, that's great. And if that means bending over and touching your toes for a few deep breaths when you wake up in the morning, I know that that's where it started for me when I was like 15 years old and 200 and whatever pounds. And that created a lot of changes, that created a huge ripple effect. So today I wanted to share, I think, a good practice for this. I'm going to be doing a dopamine fast starting on the new moon. Might be that time already when I'm posting this. And I find that when I do a dopamine fast and you're like taking away a lot of habits and things, the best way to counterbalance that and make sure that that works the way you want it to is to add something new in. And so this is where I would start for anybody who really just needs to get their foot in the door, getting a movement practice in. This is very Capricorn, it's very root chakra. I'm just gonna have you sit back with a wide leg straddle in whatever space you've got. Ideally, you probably want like a carpet or something warm at least underneath you, because you're trying to kind of sit your sits bones and sink them into the earth and have all this full contact with the ground with your legs. And I would recommend starting with 1 minute a day like this, because then you know you can do it. And then if you feel like doing it more throughout the day, or you get different opportunities, or you want to keep going or whatever, you can add that. But just as far as the element of routine and consistency, Capricorn, we are just going to focus on, for the next 30 days, if you want to take this challenge with me, to, if nothing else, get up before you go to bed, right after you wake up, on your lunch break, wherever you know that that's going to be consistent for you, you know? And do 1 minute of this practice where you're just going to sit. You just sit. And you're also going to breathe, and you're going to feel the interaction between your core and your hips. And then you're going to start feeling this articulation in your joints and just kind of moving your legs back and forth, and spiraling them inwards and outwards I'm trying to stand up a little bit tall, but not like overly exaggerating anything. You want to be really relaxed here. We're building a proprioceptive awareness of a part of our bodies that most people leave completely in the realm of their unconscious, their subconscious. Like, you just kind of go. And that's why we have so much low back pain and hip dysfunction, especially in this culture where we sit so much, but in chairs and not in a squat or low to the ground. And we kind of keep our joints in very consistent patterns. So there's no rules about this. You're trying to learn how to sense into and feel layers of your muscle and your fascia and your tendons and your ligaments and your tissues and your nerves that maybe you get information from your body about, but it kind of goes by the wayside because you're so zeroed in on other things, maybe work things, maybe things in your mind, maybe things with your family, maybe other issues in other parts of your body. But if we can use our intention to bring an awareness into different parts of our structure, we can really feel a sense of control over the thing that we have the most control over in life, which is our own bodies as an extension of our own consciousness, right? So I feel like it's been definitely more than a minute here, but I'm just kind of giving y'all an idea of the possibilities and the purpose of this exercise. And you can, I would even recommend for the large majority of people to set a timer for 60 seconds and let that be maybe the first dopamine hit checklist item of your day. Quite simple and pretty easy to talk most people into, even if they just want to sit in bed or whatever. And once you get started feeling into your body early in the morning, for a lot of people, that's going to create a ripple effect, a snowball effect, and it's going to be easier and easier to get into that in every opportunity you are presented with in your life. Because again, most of us don't have extreme inabilities to use our bodies. We just have a lot more going on in our heads. And a lot of the time, if you get more rooted into your body, those mental blocks and that confusion that keeps you from moving forward in a practical sense because of the loops in your logic or whatnot, sometimes the answers and the solutions and the clarity comes through not thinking about it so logically anymore and rooting into the intelligence of your body, the intelligence of your subconscious, which is quite a bit larger and more, has more points of impact on you, perhaps, than your conscious mind. Not to say it's more important or less important or anything, but just because we tend to avoid our bodies a lot in this culture, we kind of have to counterbalance that with some intentionality, intentionally balancing. 9:59 on the clock for all of my symbology, science of imagery weirdos. But honestly, no matter what you're into or how you navigate life, spiritually, intellectually, whatever, what we all share in common is what runs through our veins, our Kai Chi, our ocean of energy, our Red Sea. So I think we're gonna leave it at 11 minutes there. 11 minutes and 1 minute are about the same. And if you'd like, you can just continue on here learning about your own proprioceptive relation to you. And I might do the same. And I will see y'all in the next one. Feel free to let me know how things are going with your movement and or dopamine fast challenge this month, starting on the new moon in Capricorn, which will be Sunday, the 18th of January, 2026. Nailed it. All right. I hope you have a beautiful day. Love, light, peace, and personal responsibility.